Waking up at 3 a.m., staring at the ceiling, unable to fall back asleep. If this keeps happening to you after 60, it can feel frustrating, even a little worrying. Many people are told this is just part of aging, that lighter sleep, early waking, and broken nights are normal. But here is what most people never get told. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not random, and it is not something your body is doing for no reason. It is a signal. Your body is trying to tell you that something in your internal system is out of balance. And once you understand what is actually happening, this pattern starts to make sense. Because that specific time, around 2 a.m. to 4 a.m., is one of the most sensitive windows in your entire sleep cycle. Let's break this down in a simple way. During the night, your body moves through different stages of sleep. Early in the night, you spend more time in deep sleep, where physical repair happens. Later in the night, especially around 3 a.m., your body shifts toward lighter sleep and dreaming phases. This is also the time when your body temperature is at its lowest, your blood sugar is more vulnerable to dropping, and your stress hormone levels begin to slowly rise in preparation for waking up. So if anything is slightly off in your system, this is the time it shows up. Now let's go into the hidden causes. The first and one of the most common is blood sugar imbalance. If your blood sugar drops too low during the night, your body treats it like a stress situation. It releases cortisol and adrenaline to bring your sugar levels back up. These hormones are stimulating. They wake you up. This is why you might suddenly open your eyes, sometimes with your mind racing, even if you went to bed feeling calm. This becomes more common after 60 because your body is not as efficient at regulating blood sugar as it used to be. Eating a high-carb or sugary dinner or going too long without eating can increase the chances of this happening. A simple adjustment like having a balanced dinner with protein, fiber, and healthy fats can help stabilize your blood sugar through the night. Now let's talk about the second hidden cause, cortisol rhythm disruption. Cortisol is your natural wake-up hormone. It should be lowest at night and gradually rise toward morning. But if your daily routine is inconsistent, or if you are exposed to too much stress or artificial light at night, this rhythm can shift. Instead of rising at the right time, cortisol may spike too early, around 3 a.m. And when it does, your body thinks it is time to wake up. This is why some people wake up at the exact same time every night. Your internal clock has been slightly misaligned. The fix is not complicated, but it requires consistency. Morning sunlight, regular sleep times, and reducing screen exposure in the evening can help reset this rhythm over time. Now here is something many people overlook. Your liver activity. Around this time in the night, your body is actively processing and detoxifying. The liver plays a major role here. If your system is under stress, whether from diet, alcohol, medications, or other factors, your body may become more active during this period. This increased activity can sometimes make your sleep lighter, making it easier to wake up. This does not mean something is seriously wrong, but it can be a sign that your body is working harder than usual during the night. Supporting your system with lighter evening meals and reducing late-night eating can help reduce this burden. Now let's go deeper into something that affects almost everyone, light exposure and melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone that keeps you asleep, but as you age, your body produces less of it. At the same time, exposure to artificial light at night, especially from screens, can suppress melatonin even further. This creates a situation where your sleep becomes lighter and easier to interrupt. So when your body naturally enters that lighter sleep phase around 3 a.m., you wake up instead of staying asleep. This is why protecting your evening environment is so important. Dim lighting, less screen time, and a calm routine before bed can make a big difference. Now here is another powerful but often ignored factor: mental activity. Even if you feel relaxed when you go to bed, your mind may still be processing thoughts in the background. At 3 a.m., when your sleep becomes lighter, those thoughts can come forward. This is why many people wake up and suddenly start thinking about problems, plans, or worries. It is not that your mind just started racing. It was already active, and now you are aware of it. Practices that calm the mind before sleep, like reading something light, gentle breathing, or simply reducing stimulation can help reduce this effect. Now let's connect all of this. Waking up at 3 a.m. is usually not caused by one single issue. It is often a combination of small imbalances, slight blood sugar drops, mild cortisol disruption, reduced melatonin, and background mental activity. Together, they create the perfect condition for waking up during that vulnerable window of the night. The good news is that this also means there are multiple ways to improve it. Now imagine this instead. You go to bed after a calm evening, your lights dim, your mind relaxed, your body has stable blood sugar, your hormones are aligned, and your sleep environment supports deep rest. As the night progresses, your body moves through its natural cycles smoothly. When you reach that early morning window, your system remains stable. You stay asleep. And when you finally wake up, it feels natural, not sudden or forced. That is how your body is designed to function. So if you are waking up at 3 a.m., do not panic and do not accept it as something you have to live with. Instead, look at it as feedback. Your body is giving you a clue about what needs attention. Start small, adjust your evening routine, balance your meals, get morning light, reduce stimulation before bed. These changes may seem simple, but they work because they address the root causes. And over time, as your body begins to trust your routine again, those early wake-ups often become less frequent. Until one night you realize something has changed. You slept through, and it did not happen because of a pill or a quick fix. It happened because you finally gave your body the conditions it needed to rest the way it was meant to. And when you start paying attention to this pattern instead of fighting it, you begin to notice something interesting. That 3 a.m. wake up is often very consistent. Same time, same feeling, almost like your body is following a script. That is because, in many cases, it actually is. Your body runs on patterns, hormonal patterns, temperature patterns, brain activity patterns. When something shifts slightly out of alignment, your body does not randomly react. It repeats the same response night after night. That is why this keeps happening. Now let's go deeper into what is happening inside your brain during this time, because this is where things get even more revealing. Around 3 a.m., your brain is transitioning between sleep cycles. This is a naturally lighter stage of sleep. Your body is not in deep repair mode anymore, but it is also not fully awake. It is in between. In this state, your brain becomes more sensitive. If your internal environment is stable, you glide through this phase without noticing. But if something is off, even slightly, your brain picks up on it and wakes you up. This is why even small disruptions matter. A slight drop in blood sugar, a minor spike in cortisol, a small increase in body temperature, even a subtle change in breathing. All of these can be enough to push you from light sleep into full wakefulness. Now, here is something most people misunderstand. What you do after waking up matters just as much as why you woke up. Many people wake up at 3 a.m. and immediately check the time. Then they start thinking, why am I awake again? That thought creates frustration. Frustration creates stress. Stress increases cortisol, and now your body is even more awake. Then comes the cycle of trying to force sleep. Tossing, turning, checking the clock again, worrying about how tired you will feel tomorrow. This mental loop can keep you awake far longer than the original cause ever would have. So part of solving this problem is changing how you respond when it happens. If you wake up, try not to engage your mind too much. Avoid looking at the clock. Keep your environment dark and calm. Focus on slow, steady breathing. Let your body know there is no threat, no urgency. In many cases, if you remove the mental stimulation, your body can settle back into sleep naturally. Now let's explore another hidden factor that becomes more important after 60. Body temperature regulation. Your body temperature naturally drops at night to support sleep. Around 3 a.m., it reaches its lowest point. But as you age, your ability to regulate temperature can become less stable. If your room is too warm, or if your body temperature rises slightly, it can disrupt this balance and wake you up. This is why some people notice they wake up feeling slightly warm or uncomfortable, even if the room does not feel hot. Keeping your sleeping environment cool and breathable can make a bigger difference than most people expect. Now let's talk about another subtle but powerful trigger: caffeine timing. Many people believe that as long as they do not drink coffee at night, it will not affect their sleep. But caffeine can stay in your system for many hours, sometimes longer than expected. If you consume caffeine in the afternoon, it may still be active in your body during the night. It may not stop you from falling asleep, but it can make your sleep lighter and easier to interrupt. This increases the chances of waking up during that 3 a.m. window. Reducing or adjusting caffeine intake earlier in the day can help deepen your sleep over time. Now, here is something even more subtle. Your body's expectation. When a pattern repeats often enough, your body begins to expect it. If you have been waking up at 3 a.m. for weeks or months, your internal clock can start to anticipate that wake up. It becomes part of your rhythm. This does not mean it is permanent, but it does mean that breaking the pattern requires consistency. Your body needs to learn a new pattern, and that takes time. This is why quick fixes often do not work. You are not just fixing one night. You are retraining your system. Now let's bring everything together in a clear way. Waking up at 3 a.m. is not caused by one dramatic problem. It is usually the result of small, manageable factors working together. Your blood sugar may be dipping slightly, your cortisol rhythm may be slightly off, your melatonin may be lower than before, your sleep may be lighter, your environment may not be fully supportive. Individually, each of these might not wake you up, but together, they create the perfect moment for interruption. And once that interruption happens repeatedly, it becomes a habit your body starts to follow. Now imagine reversing this process. You stabilize your meals so your blood sugar stays steady through the night. You get morning light and reduce evening light to reset your hormones. You create a calm, cool sleep environment. You reduce caffeine later in the day. You wind down your mind before bed. You also change how you respond when you wake up, removing stress from the situation. Over time, your body begins to feel safer and more stable during that early morning window. And slowly, the pattern starts to fade. Maybe at first you still wake up but fall back asleep faster. Then one night you wake up briefly but barely notice it. And then eventually you sleep through that time completely. That is how change happens here. Gradual, not instant. Now, there is one more important perspective to understand. Not every early wake up is a problem. Sometimes your body simply needs slightly less sleep than before. The key difference is how you feel during the day. If you wake up at 5 a.m. feeling refreshed and energized, that may be natural for you. But if you wake up at 3 a.m. and feel tired, restless, and unable to go back to sleep, that is a signal worth paying attention to. Your goal is not to force a specific number of hours. Your goal is to feel rested, and that comes from quality, not just quantity. So if you are dealing with this pattern, do not get discouraged. Your body is not broken. It is communicating. Every early wake up is a clue, a signal about your rhythm, your habits, your internal balance. When you listen to those signals and respond with small, consistent changes, your body begins to adjust. And over time, those quiet, uninterrupted nights return. Not because you forced sleep, but because you finally created the conditions where sleep can happen naturally, the way it was always meant to. And there is one more layer to this that can completely change how you understand those 3 a.m. wake-ups. Your brain is not just resting while you sleep. It is actively working. During the night, especially in the later hours, your brain is processing memories, sorting emotions, and clearing out waste products that build up during the day. This process is essential for mental clarity, mood stability, and long-term brain health. Around 3 a.m., this activity is still happening, but your brain is closer to the surface of wakefulness. If anything interrupts this process, you become aware of it. This is why some people wake up not just alert, but thinking. Thoughts can feel unusually intense at this hour. Small concerns can seem bigger. Random memories can surface. You may start planning, worrying, or analyzing things that did not feel important during the day. This is not because your problem suddenly appeared at 3 a.m. It is because your brain is in a state where it is processing information without the usual distractions of daytime. And if your system is slightly out of balance, you wake up right in the middle of that process. Now, here is something that can make a big difference. Do not trust your thoughts at 3 a.m. This might sound strange, but it is extremely important. Your brain is not in its normal, rational daytime state. It is in a more emotional and reactive mode. What feels urgent or overwhelming in that moment often feels much smaller the next morning. So instead of engaging with those thoughts, treat them as temporary noise. Let them pass without trying to solve anything. This alone can help your mind settle much faster. Now let's talk about another overlooked factor: Bathroom trips. Many people over 60 wake up at night to use the bathroom. This can seem like a separate issue, but it is often connected to the same underlying factors. Fluid timing, certain medications, and even blood sugar fluctuations can increase nighttime urination. Once you wake up for this reason, your already light sleep state makes it harder to fall back asleep. Adjusting when you drink fluids, especially reducing intake right before bed, can help. But it is also important to look at overall patterns, not just this one symptom, because again, it is rarely just one cause. Now let's go into something deeper that most people never connect to sleep. Your sense of safety. Your nervous system constantly scans for signals of safety or threat. During the day, you may not notice this as much, but at night, when everything is quiet, your body becomes more sensitive. If your system is carrying stress, tension, or unresolved worry, it may remain slightly alert even during sleep. Around 3 a.m., when your sleep is lighter, that underlying alertness can surface as wakefulness. This is why creating a sense of calm before bed is so powerful. It is not just about relaxing your body. It is about sending a message to your nervous system that it is safe to fully rest. Simple things like a consistent bedtime routine, dim lighting, quiet surroundings, and even calming activities can help reinforce this signal. Now let's bring this into a practical perspective you can actually use. Instead of seeing 3 a.m. wake-ups as a problem to fight, start seeing them as feedback you can learn from. Ask yourself simple questions. What did I eat last night? Was my evening calm or stressful? Did I use screens late? Did I go to bed at a consistent time? How was my hydration during the day? You are not looking for perfection. You are looking for patterns, because once you identify patterns, you can begin to adjust them. Now imagine building a night routine that supports your sleep step by step. Your evening begins to slow down naturally. Lights become softer, screens are reduced or turned off. Your meals are balanced and not too late. Your mind is given time to unwind instead of being constantly stimulated. When you go to bed, your body is already in a state that supports sleep, not one that is fighting against it. As the night progresses, your system remains stable. Your blood sugar does not drop suddenly. Your hormones follow a natural rhythm. Your environment stays comfortable. And when you reach that early morning window, your body stays asleep. This is not something that happens overnight, but it is something your body can learn. And here is the most important part. You do not need to fix everything perfectly to see improvement. Even small changes can reduce how often this happens. Maybe you still wake up, but not every night. Maybe you fall back asleep faster. Maybe your mind feels calmer when you wake up. These are signs that your system is adjusting. And over time, those small improvements can turn into consistent, uninterrupted sleep. Now step back and look at this from a bigger perspective. Your sleep is not just about rest. It is a reflection of your overall health. When your body is balanced, sleep tends to follow. When something is off, sleep is often where it shows up first. So instead of trying to control sleep directly, focus on supporting the systems that create it. Your rhythm, your nutrition, your environment, your stress levels. When these are aligned, sleep becomes easier, more natural, and more consistent. And those 3 a.m. wake-ups, which once felt random and frustrating, start to make sense. They were never random, they were messages. And now that you understand those messages, you have the ability to respond to them in a way that actually works. Not with quick fixes or temporary solutions, but with small, steady changes that help your body return to what it has always been designed to do. Rest deeply, recover fully, and wake up feeling truly refreshed.